Hey, what's up, guys? Tugi here. Episode 25 of Rebuilding Hockeytown. 25 episodes into this series already. And this one's shaping up to be another eventful episode as we have a change to make not only at the AHL level, but there's a new change I have in mind for the NHL level, aside from just player types, which we talked about at the end of the last episode. A couple of people have stayed the same. Taylor Radish has been changed to a playmaker. Somebody mentioned in the comments of the last video that Jonathan Dolan, they don't recall him playing center. Elite Prospects has him listed as a center, and aside, he has 82 faceoffs, so we're going to play him at center. Third line stays the same, and Giovanni Smith has been changed to a grinder on the fourth line. Hronik now an offensive defenseman. He joins Liljegren and Saarijarvi as offensive defensemen on this team. But the big change I have in mind is trying to sign Zachary Fucale. He's still a restricted free agent. We can easily, or should be able to easily afford the asking price. If not, it would be because I traded away like our second or third round pick or whatever. But I can make it work and I can go and reacquire those. So if we're able to sign him, that means Joseph Woll will be traded once Ian Scott is fully healthy. He's only had 3 games, but he hasn't been that impressive. And as it is, he's never going to be the starter on this team. It is going to be Ian Scott. Well, it is unfortunate that he's injured at the moment, but we're going to see what we can do there. And then AHL level, there's a ton of trades to be made there. I won't even bother trying to get into detail. Of course, we want to get rid of some of those guys who simply aren't going to make the team or have lesser value. It's worth it to just get rid of them. The problem is we're going to end up with a ton of picks, more than we already have. It's a hell of a problem to have. We're going to have a ton of draft picks moving forward. But the first thing we need to do is try to sign Fucale. Montreal cannot afford him, so this should be relatively easy, and he's asking for so low of a price that we wouldn't even have to give up a pick for him at the moment. Now, I am going to double check with the Habs and see what their cap space situation is. Oh yeah, they couldn't afford him. They couldn't afford him. Not even close. Not even close. So we're free and clear here. Free and clear here. Free and clear. Don't know what the hell clear means. But we'll be able to get Zach Fucale for nothing as a restricted free agent, which is beautiful. And then honestly, I mean, if we wanted to, depending on when Ian Scott comes back, we could just, trade Fucale instead. But for now, let's steal him away from the Habs. And yeah, let's make at least 1 or 2 trades here. Now, the game plan isn't to reacquire certain prospects, because the prospects we could get in return, for example here. For example, you look at the value, and let me sort by forwards, because we'll get down there a bit sooner, but Will Bitton, Twarniski, Morand, these guys aren't worth much, right? So I could, for example, on San Jose, there is a guy here named Lettinen, Joakim Lettinen, who we could go after. 71 overall, so it'd be fine playing him on the 4th line down in the AHL with Grand Rapids. But we'd have to give up quite a bit to get him. And actually, now that I think about it, maybe it's worth going for. Maybe it's worth going for, because it's either we're going to have another good prospect or another high draft pick. So let's see if we can get this to work. Screw it, because I have the draft picks. We used them in the last episode to get Grew, however the fuck you pronounce it, from Vancouver. So let's see what we can do here. First round pick and Will Bitton. I don't think that'll go through. If it does, I'm alright with it. It didn't. Okay. Screw it. I'm going to see if I can get this guy. Now, the rest of the trades aren't going to be for other prospects, unfortunately. But that's alright. I can just sign veterans from the free agency pool, which is what I was going to do to begin with. Although, apparently, that's actually what I'm going to have to do now. Lettinen's just too damn valuable, and I don't want to give up multiple first-round picks to get him. So I actually didn't mean to take Bitton out of the offer, because we're going to have to go back. So let's see, it's Bitton, Twarniski, Morand, Elnuik. A logjam of players. Kopaka, I'm also going to let go of. And actually, let's only trade 2 of them away for now. We'll pace this out and take our time so the game doesn't sign anybody for us. So let's see. The Winnipeg Jets. Definitely we can get their 2nd round pick. Can I get their 1st round pick next year? Not that I need any more firsts, but if I can, I might as well. How about a 1st and a 3rd next year? Close to fair value. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. But let's see here. If we tack on Arizona's 5th this year, will it go through? Yes, it will. Will Bitton and Antoine Morand off to Winnipeg. And we get even more rich when it comes to draft picks. It's just not fair. Just not fair. But let's go best lines down in the AHL for now. And now that we've traded Bitton and Morand, and excuse me if you can hear this paper in the background, but yeah, I know. You know, I got to keep track here of who I'm actually meaning to get rid of, because for every player we trade away, we do have to sign a replacement. Otherwise, we're at risk again of the game signing players at the AHL level for us, and that's just a pain in the ass. But let's see here. Forwards. It's funny, Blake Wheeler is still a free agent. As is Derek Brassard, who's down to an 84. This guy here, Johnston? Ross Johnston. Hell of a physical player. But 4th line guy. Would he be happy at the AHL level? Is the question. Josh Olivo is available. Or do I want to sign guys with a lower... Yeah, I'll probably want to sign guys with a lower overall. Let's look for veterans here. We just need guys that are still somewhat usable, but won't take up a spot if I have to go best lines. Mike Richards. We'll sign you for a year. That sounds good. And we'll look at signing Valtteri Filppula as well. Both 75 and a 77. That is a bit rough. So we'll wait to see and to hear. We'll wait to see and to hear back from those 3 players we have offers out to. And in the meantime, I need to put in our backup goalie for this next game, because we would have played Pittsburgh the day before to end the last episode. So Luukkonen, 78 overall. What can he do for us is the question. And can we start to turn it around? Last year, it was disappointing to not make the playoffs. This year, disappointing would be an understatement. We have to make the playoffs this season. We have to. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. We need to be a playoff team this year. Getting Fucale may be a bit of an overreaction in terms of just making sure our goaltending is good. It's funny, Luukkonen one win, he jumps up an overall point to a 79. But I can't risk it. I cannot risk it. And the funny thing, oh man, actually, I think Scott's back soon. Joseph Wall at least gets the start here against Washington. And he got a 2-0 shutout. I'm starting to feel bad about offering Fucale a deal. He hasn't answered back yet. Filppula and Richards have. Let's sim this next game against Montreal. Fucale's accepted. Back-to-back shutouts for Joseph Wall. Oh my god. Wow, we might have to keep him. We might have to keep Joseph Wall now. Fucale has arrived, and that creates a bit of an issue. That's 3 straight wins now for Joseph Wall. Oh my god. That creates a bit of an issue. Now, Fucale could be the backup, right? Fucale could be the backup. Let's double check as to when Ian Scott is fully healthy. He's still 2 weeks away. If Wall continues to play at this high of a level, we'll just keep Fucale for another couple of weeks and then flip him. Simple as that. We'll keep him for another couple of weeks and then flip him. But in the meantime, since we heard back from Richards and Filppula, we need to trade away 2 more players to clear out some space. And up next will probably be Elnuik and Twarniski. I think those are the next 2 in line. Indeed, they are. Now, Carson Twarniski, somebody did say he has the potential to turn into something great. But you guys have seen the players that we already have. I'm not too concerned about potentially, missing out on a gem because we already have a couple of gems on this team. And say what you want about pick hoarding, I'm just going for fair value. Although that 3rd round pick is a bit too much. How about a 4th and a 6th? I'll skip out on the 5th. Will that go through? Yes, it will. Tornitzky and Elnuik off to Edmonton. We get even more picks. Not like we need them, but we get those. So Luukkonen will be sent down. Fucale called up. I actually could... Well, if I keep him down at the AHL level, he will eventually start to complain about being down there. So it's not even worth it. So let's swap those two for now. We'll go edit lines. And we'll keep this the same. I was tempted to go best lines to see if it changed the power play units. But for now, we're okay. So let's have Fucale as the backup because Joseph Woll, from a .904 save percentage to a .942, he heard that I wanted to get rid of him. And he stepped up in a major, major way. Now, we will go best lines here. We will go best lines. So we have Bancroft, Streit, and we need to put Streit in for Volrath. So Dan Streit is in. And then, yeah, right now Richards and Filppula can stay. We need to send the 2 replacements for Elnuik and Tornitzky. I'm sorry if that paper was loud. I try to write lightly so it doesn't pick up on the mic and ruin the audio quality, but that's okay. You'll live. Forwards again, and actually this time we should look at signing some decent players who can actually be in the lineup. So I'm going to start off probably with Lander. Like, there's something about Johnston. I mean, he is a 4th liner. That's the thing. I want to sign him. Like, I'd love to sign him, Levo, Quentin Howden, but they just complain about being down there. So let's go with, let's see, we got Lander, Slapishev, Tanner Caro, Peary, Sundstrom, Sven Andrighetto, Bailey, any other 81s? Landon Ferraro. We could bring back Landon Ferraro again. And, Jesus, there's a lot of 81s available. Man. So Greg McKegg, Michael Bourneval, Martel. Is that Daniel Carr from Montreal? It is. You know what? I'm a fan of his. Even though he's a Hab, I'm a fan of his. Let's send an offer to him. And let's send an offer to Landon Ferraro. Those will be the next 2 in line to make it down into the AHL lineup. In the meantime, we'll continue to see what Joseph Woll can do for us at the NHL level. We're now up to a 6-5-1 record. And let's see. Let's get this next game in against the Leafs. It's a 5-3 victory. Man. Oh my God. 5 straight wins for the team to start the month of November. Ferraro and Carr have accepted. Beautiful. And then we lost to Washington. Maybe not the biggest surprise that we lost to the Caps. They're still looking pretty damn good. But we get to make our last 2 trades. It's going to be Jack Kopaka and Owen Lane, which sucks to get rid of either of these guys, as I think they will be at least turn into half-decent players. But we got to do what we got to do. We're looking for a Western Conference team with contract spots so that we don't have to deal with them. I don't want to send them back to Edmonton. We might be in a bit of trouble. Actually, Winnipeg, I know we already got their first. Maybe we'll get their 2nd round pick this year. Yeah, it's looking like we're going to be able to do that. So we're just going to rob the Jets blind of their next few picks. That's fine. I'm going to get both 2nds, and I'll just tack on the Edmonton 4th here. I didn't plan on ending up with this many picks, but when you factor in the amount of players that we have traded in the last few episodes and the quality of those players, you can't be surprised that we've ended up with the picks that we have. But let's see, if we tack on the Washington 3rd, that goes through. Beautiful. Our team, with the exception of the goalie situation, is set. That goalie situation, we're still going to have to make a decision there. I'm not sure what decision I want to make, really. but we will figure it out sooner rather than later. So let's see. Scratched players. We still have our 2 defensemen. So we need to sign, I think, 3 forwards. 2 extra depth guys, maybe even 3 extra depth guys. No, 2 extras. Should be good. So we need 2 more forwards from the free agent list, and we will be good to go. Lovely. So let's see. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? We got Michael Bournival, Landers, Lepishev, Brandon Peary, Sven Andrighetto. You know what? Let's bring in Sven Andrighetto. And the other one, I'm leaning towards Michael Bournival. Go figure. With all of the Habs players here. Tyson Bailey wouldn't be a terrible option. He still has some potential. Greg McKegg is there. Tanner Caro, Chris Wagner. Is that Tom Pyatt? That is Tom Pyatt. Let's see. Danny O'Regan was with the Sharks. I think he won some hardware in this sim. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jason Megna. Yeah, let's go for where is he? Where is he? Michael Bournival. Michael Bournival. Those will be our last 2 signings. A couple of former Habs are going to be in Grand Rapids this season. But here we go. It's advanced day. Will they sign immediately, or will we play the Flames? And we are going to have to play the Flames, so we have a 7-6-1 record. What's that going to be now? 7-7-1. So 2 straight losses for the Red Wings. A little bit disappointing there. Scouting, we'll go defense for 3 weeks. Not like it really matters. These firsts, like the big question is, what do I do? Do I make these picks? Do I trade them? I genuinely don't know. But we'll give him a chance. I just noticed he's wearing a necklace in that picture. Sorry, that was random. We gave Wall the chance against Washington. He gets some redemption. And Fucale will be in goal against the Tampa Bay Lightning. We'll be giving him a chance now really quickly. And actually, before I forget, let's just put him in goal. And he actually bumped up to a 76. So I was planning on making it to the All-Star break in this episode. That might not happen now because I might want to get your input on the new goalie situation that we have. Before, it was Van Pottelberg, Scott, Wall, and now Fucale has factored in. Let's go best lines here down at the AHL level again. Now see, it's scratched Benoit Giroux, which we're going to want to put him back into the lineup. Defensively, we're fine. So let's see here. Let's see. I'm just taking a look at handedness really quick because I'm a bit particular and that matters to me for some reason. All right, so we got our righties. So let's go. Actually, that works out perfectly. And then from there, and the only guy outside of the top 6 that's actually a prospect of ours is going to be Robert Thomas, which is okay. So Svechnikov cannot play center. Pettersson can. All right, Bournival has a 78 for draws. Andrighetto only a 70. All right, I think I'm going to have to switch somebody back here. That was a 65 for faceoffs. Andrighetto has a 70. Actually, now that I look at it, Svechnikov might get dropped outside there. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. So, 4th line, Carr, Richards, Ferraro. 3rd line, Svechnikov, Bournival, and Robert Thomas. The 2nd line, Riley Tufte, Sven Andrighetto, Cole Lind. And top line, Alex Formenton, Elias Pettersson, and Kailer Yamamoto. Much less of a logjam, and that way players like Formenton, Pettersson, Yamamoto can play on the top line. You know, Svechnikov and Robert Thomas are still going to be getting some decent ice time. Otherwise, they might be on the 4th line. So it was about clearing up a little bit of space there. And we also need to drop McBain down to the 2nd pairing with Stevens. Goaltending, I'll have to change out Volrath again, which is fine. And we're good to go. NHL-wise, we're still good to go. We'll play Fucale. And we're going to sim up to the point where Ian Scott is 100%. Not when he returns, but to the point where he is 100% healthy and we have to make a decision. So Zach Fucale's first game for us, Yep, that's... Alright. That just happened. And that might have just made the decision pretty damn easy. Hell, I might make the decision myself and then sim to the All-Star break. Wow. Zach Fucale gets shelled. He still made 30 saves. That was terrible. I do wonder plus-minus wise, but it's looking alright. It is looking alright. Let's put Luke Green on that side. It's a shame. We have too many lefties. We have too many lefties. Stats-wise, Taylor Hall's... I mean, the top line's picking it up a little bit. Second line, not terrible. Third line, not terrible. Fourth line, not terrible. It's just a matter of playing up to our potential. That's all it is. It's just a matter of playing up to our potential. Now, again, the goal is absolutely to make the playoffs. If it turns out that we're still not ready to be a playoff team, then that's a problem. Now, Ian Scott won't be fully healthy. I got to spam the B button here. Hopefully it doesn't sim the game against Ottawa. It did. Is Ian Scott going to be fully healthy? We've lost 2 straight. Dylan Hetherington on waivers. Is he 20? He's still 25. High top 6. Is that a morale issue with Dylan Hetherington? Because he turned into a half-decent defenseman in the Nordique sim. I'm actually going to claim him. Fuck it. Yeah, let's claim him, and we'll play him rather than Jamie McBain. Why not, right? Why not? That might not be a terrible pickup. But let's see here. Is Ian Scott 100% healthy? Because if he is, that's where we have to stop and make a decision. He is not 100%. Down at the AHL, I need to probably scratch Jamie McBain here. Yeah, Hetherington's an 83. I had a feeling that was a morale issue based on the amount of money that he was being offered. So we're actually going to put Hetherington up with Rasmus Dahlin, and we will just keep him on this team for the moment. Yeah, we might as well. I mean, we don't need him at the NHL level, so we'll keep him here for now and flip him eventually. Probably once he starts complaining. I'm not sure. Actually, now that I think about it, obviously when you sign somebody or trade somebody and then immediately flip them, the game's like, hey, you're a douche, don't do that. With waiver claims, though, I'm not sure if it's the same way. So we'll wait and see on that. And for now, the AHL defense just got a hell of a lot better, and we can scratch Jamie McBain in the meantime. So we beat Columbus 6-3. Ian Scott is fully healthy. It's been a couple of weeks since we've signed Fucale. Is that too early? Is that too early to get rid of him? That's the question. And I think I might just be willing to take the risk, to be honest. I might be willing to take the risk to just get rid of Fucale now. And it's funny, we jumped up to hopeful, so that's good. We were rebuilders when I made the trades earlier. So Fucale doesn't even have that great a value. But I could look to trade him. Joseph Wall's done all right. So do I risk trading him early? Is the question. So there was probably a fade to black there. That's because I spent quite a bit of time trying to get a deal done for Fucale and couldn't get it done. Mainly with the Sharks. I'm going to have to poke around a little bit more to actually find a deal. So I'll do that off screen, and we'll start the next episode with whatever the Zachary Fucale trade ends up being. But the bottom line is, Joseph Wall, 913 save percentage isn't tremendous, but for now, that's good enough to be our backup goalie. So we're going to look to move Fucale in the next episode. His value isn't great, but we'll be able to get a little bit back for him. Although, some of you might say to keep him, but, I mean, it's down to these two. The bottom line is Ian Scott is still going to be the starter, and if he struggles upon return, I have the assets necessary to still go out and get a top-tier goalie until Ian Scott is ready. And then down at the AHL level, I am probably going to look for another defenseman, and I'll probably try to package Hetherington and McBain in that deal, and we'll look for another half-decent defenseman to keep that cycle going. So yeah, we still have more moves to make. Surprise, surprise. But minor deals. As we get rid of Fukale, we change up the AHL defense. There may be a major move, though, in the next episode if Ian Scott can't get the job done, and we will find out if that is the case. But for now, guys, that will do it for this episode. We're still right in the mix. We're only 19 games into the season. There's a long way to go, so who knows what will eventually become of this team this season. But I can't imagine we don't make the playoffs. With this much talent, we're going to get the job done. We are going to make the playoffs. It's just a matter of fitting those final few pieces into the right place. If you have enjoyed this video, though, of course, as always, make sure to leave a like to help support the channel, and subscribe if you haven't already to continue following this series and others. And I'll see you guys in the next episode of Rebuilding Hockeytown.